Well, good evening, everybody. Let me show you what I've been working on for the last week or so here. As you can see, I have a little wallet workshop going on right here. Now, my skills at wallet making are, poor at best and getting better one wallet at a time. But I've actually got some real wallet tools here now. I've got the punches to put the holes in the wallets for the stitching. I've got some real thread here, which I just got this today. I've been using this kind of thread from Michaels. It's really kind of a heavy waxed thread. I've got a real groover here to put the grooves in the wallet for where the tines go. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of wallets in production here. Now, the basics is really pretty simple. The cash goes into a pocket right here, folded once. Cards go in this side, and that's it. It's just a basic small bifold wallet. Easiest thing I could think of to do with one piece of leather. The leather I picked up in downtown Los Angeles this week, and I'd give it a name, except I think it's such a poor quality of leather that it doesn't come with a name. It is leather. That's about all I know. I smell it, and it smells like leather. Full grain, top grain, I have no idea. But, I think it's a poor quality of leather. But as you can see, I've got one, two, three, four in production here. These are all sort of the same. They have an angle cut going this way. This one, I angle cut it a different way just to see how that would look. I've got a couple of cutouts going here that I'm kind of starting from basics. I'm trying a new cut here, sort of an angled cut, and that's going to fit like this. I've got one of these put together, and I'm just about ready to groove it and stitch it. Now, I've also got some leather weld here, which is the glue that you use on the edges to get it stuck down, and keep it in place for the punching and the stitching process. This stuff is kind of interesting. It's difficult to use in that if you open this and try and spread it like a line, it just comes out like a volcano. If you close it down too much, nothing comes out. So I'm still really learning how to use that properly. I do have the plastic mallet here to, drive these through the leather. And this is surprisingly a lot of work to put this stuff through the leather over and over and over. Whether that, says my physical prowess or not, but I'm kind of sore after pounding this stuff for a while. So I've got these sharp needles. These are like regular sewing needles. Surprisingly, I picked up these more blunt needles today, and the blunt needles are actually harder to use than the sharp needles. And it kind of goes with this new thread I've got. You put this stuff through the wallet wrong, and the holes are so small from these diamond-shaped tips on this that the blunt needles actually enlarge the holes. And then this thread is much finer than the other thread from Michaels. So if you pull it a little too hard, it almost slices the leather because it's a pretty strong thread. But as you can see, I have a couple of folded into shape here that I'm using the 2-cent binder clip on to kind of force into shape. So I got two of those. But yeah, this is what I've been doing for about a week now, as I've been putting these together, and I've certainly ruined a few that I've just had to throw in the trash. And these are through just like painstaking, one step at a time, because at any point in this process, I am very capable of doing something, totally wrong and just have to throw out another one. So I have to be very careful in every step that I do. But it's kind of fun doing it. And when one does actually come out right, it leaves me with a little warm, fuzzy feeling. But here's one that's completed. I completed one, sort of like a model house. Now, it's not perfect. The stitching is, I don't know if you can see this or not, the stitching is okay, it came out pretty straight there. I'm still getting the stitching down because it's, one stitch at a time. The inside, as I said, holds cash folded once. The the card holder area really only holds about 4 to start with. I think I can get a 5th in there if I work it in, but it's really not going to take more than about 5 cards. But the stitching's good on the inside. It's a saddle stitch. So you can see right here where I've put fire to the ends of those. I've double backed them on the stitch and then put fire to them and kind of blunted down the tip to finish the stitch. Now the back, a little problem right there, if you can see it. Somehow the stitch dropped down, and I don't know if I pulled too hard on that and actually pulled the stitch through the leather, but one stitch dropped down. So like I say, this has certainly been a learning process for me, and the only real instruction I've had is when I went down to interview Scott at Headlands Handmade. He sort of went through some stuff real fast while he was making a piece for my my cash folder wallet that he does. So I sort of saw how he used the leather weld. I've also got some gum tough word to say, gum tag, and this is to burnish the edges. And I've tried this. It hasn't worked out real well yet, and whether that's because of the bottom of the line leather I'm using. I mean, I don't know why it hasn't worked, or I haven't got it down yet. But I've also got the little plastic slicking wheel here. The plastic slicking wheel goes on like that, and you go like that, and after you burnish the edges with the gum tag, then you use the slicking wheel, as far as I can tell. But you know what? This gives me a whole new appreciation for leather guys that really know how to do some fine leather. I mean, guys like Scott at Headlands Handmade, guys like Dave Mitchell at Mitchell Leather. I mean, Dave puts out some incredible stuff. I mean, obviously they got the tools, but more obviously to me, they got the know-how, because even with the tools, if you don't have the know-how, you really don't have anything. And I got about that many tools and about that much know-how. So, I'm not working with a whole lot of basic training or anything. I'm just kind of throwing these things together. Like that, each one comes out a little bit better than the last. So that's what I've been really busy on for about the last 5 days. And like I said, it's been a fun project. We'll see how long before I just completely burn out of the whole thing. But I've got a lot to finish here. What I'm going to do with them, I have no idea, because they're really not coming out good enough to really, present them in the real world. But, it's been fun. Anyway, that's what's going on my summer vacation. Have a good night.